really? That was nice.
My face is as red as a beet, and my heart is beating like a drum. I have a strange feeling about this. Yeah, that was special. Alright. Oh, that was a very short skip. I had a very good time with Sayori yesterday, and we even got some homework done. I remember our little game, at which point I lift my head up off my pillow and look at the floor. There I see our game of battleships still scattered across the mats. I should clean that up soon. But not right now. Right now, all I ought to do is appreciate my surroundings. Specifically, I should appreciate the ball of sunshine huddled into my shoulder, with her arms wrapped around mine like it's a teddy bear. Oh, there we go. Oh, despite us not going all the way last night, our impromptu game of strip battleship was undeniably sexual in nature. What's going on? It's a relationship, bro. It's a relationship. I can't remember what I picked last time for this, but I should probably avoid the question. I think we're pretty safe in the choices we made so far. Let's see. Let's avoid the question and see if it's any better than telling the truth. Oh boy, I'm not in the mood today. What's it to you?
I just want to hear if the talk of the town is terminal. Did you and Sayori do that?
She said the last bit a little louder than the rest. Perhaps intentionally. I turned red. I surrender.
Ha!
Does it really just go from there? Maybe that choice doesn't matter, who knows? Well, at least we still got to see that non-existent BG. But which one would we like to see? Alright, so here's a choice that almost certainly matters. I'll leave that one there just in case something goes wrong, perhaps, but it didn't seem to matter too much either way. So let's see, we know the horror movie was kind of a flop. Romance is probably the right answer, but we'll try drama first. I glance at the posters. Nothing in particular strikes my eye in any way. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This one is actually pretty well known. I heard it was a wholesome life story of a man with an intellectual disability. Even I know the quote, "Life is like a box of chocolates." Forrest Gump. What's the worst that could happen? I approached Sayori and pointed at the poster. Hey Sayori, how does this movie sound?
What's it about?
Probably should have told her that before asking. It's a story of a mentally disadvantaged man trying to lead a normal life. Sound good?
Okay.
Sayori flashes her $1,000,000 smile. Unlike most other things, it doesn't lose a penny of its value despite the fact that it's seen everywhere. Alright, in we go then. I calmly stroll into the lobby, and Sayori gleefully skips beside me, almost bounding with a spring in her step. I can't help but smile at her bubbly nature. We take our seats just as the pre-movie advertisements finish. As a glimpse of some cheesy horror flick fades out of the screen, the title card plays. As the first half an hour of the movie go by, Sayori never takes her eyes off the screen. That is, except to reach for more popcorn. The movie doesn't seem all that interesting, really. The main character is, as the poster said, about a mentally disadvantaged man trying to lead a normal life. It seems like an alright movie, and the casting was pretty good. That being said, a lot of the movie seems aimless, and he keeps chasing the same girl who constantly rejects him. That hits a little too close to home with the manga I read. As I half-heartedly enjoy the movie, I glance over to Sayori every few minutes. I forget to capitalize proper names. She seems kind of torn up about this, but I don't want to bother her. At least she seems to be really enjoying this movie, I say to myself unthinkingly. Sayori doesn't even seem to notice I said anything, and at this point is even leaning forward in her seat. Once the credits begin rolling, I glance over at Sayori yet again. Is she... Well, Sayori, are you crying? Sayori sniffles a little and wipes her eyes.
Oh, maybe. The movie was just really sad.
Thinking back, the movie was definitely on the sad side, but I wasn't even close to crying. As we walk outside, Sayori seems to have rebuilt some of her good mood. So it seems like you really enjoyed it, huh?
Well, it was okay, I guess.
I raise my eyebrows. Sayori, you were crying at the end of it.
Only a little. Besides, how come the movie didn't have any effect on you?
Seeing how much Sayori seems to enjoy the movie, I hold my tongue. I liked it, I guess. I just found it hard to relate with the protagonist. Sayori grins. What's so funny?
Well, I would have thought that you of all people would relate to the struggle of a girl constantly rejecting you.
I'll have you know, you're the first person I ever asked out, and you said yes. So I've got a perfect record in the dating world. I smirk. Sayori rolls her eyes and grins again, pushing me playfully.
So anyway, you ready to go?
Yeah, definitely. But first, do you mind if I take a picture of you? I just want to capture this moment since you seem like you're in a really good mood. I cringe slightly, hoping she doesn't find my comment too awkward.
Oh, Hallie, you're so sweet. Of course you can take my picture.
I pull out my phone and Sayori does a cute pose and gives me her biggest smile. I can tell this smile is genuine. I snap the picture, then put her hand in mine and walk out the theater with her. As we head home, however, Sayori starts to look more and more like she did right after the movie. Hey, do you want to stay the night at my house again?
Yeah, that's okay.
I look at Sayori with confusion. Of course you can stay. Why would you think I don't want you to?
But I'll tell you when we get back to your house.
We walk the rest of the way home in silence. I open my front door and walk in, with Sayori following close behind me. So what happens during the movie?
Well, I guess the main character just got to me.
I think for a second. Why would a mentally challenged person be relatable to Sayori? What do you mean?
I just felt like there was someone out there who knew what it's like. But it also ended up reminding me of it too. I already knew there were others out there with problems like mine, but seeing someone deal with them like that was like a reminder.
It finally clicks. I understand. Sayori looks like she's about to cry again. I move over and put my arm around her.
I'm just being stupid. I shouldn't be acting this torn up over some movie.
It's fine, we all have our problems. Besides, there were a few other people who were crying at the end of the movie too. Sayori looks at me confused. Well, probably not for the same reasons as you. The movie was pretty sad though. In any case, don't worry about it. We sit on the couch for a while and Sayori calms down.
So, do you want to go to bed yet?
That sounds great. We make our way to my bedroom and flop onto the bed. Excited for that scenario? There's the skip button. Alright, so I don't know if that's actually the best choice or not. We'll just have to see how these other ones play out. What about comedy? Ooh, how about this one? I point out a poster for this old comedy movie from Britain. Sayori, she walks over.
Yeah.
This look any good to you?
That looks awesome!
So that's a yes?
Absolutely!
We buy our tickets, which are actually surprisingly cheap for the movie. We have enough money left over for a large popcorn and a couple of sodas. Large sodas. Our movie is in Theater 13. Sayori and I managed to find some really good seating. The theater isn't really packed, even though the movie has a serious cult following. The movie follows an old British king portrayed by an old but popular British comedian as him, and his band of crusaders embark across Europe looking for the Holy Grail. Do I even need to say the title? Of course, with comedic results and antics. I'm in the dead center of the theater, and Sayori's on my right. The opening credits roll.
This looks old! And the British!
That's because it is old and British. I notice a couple of greasy-looking guys a few seats down looking back up at us. They don't seem too pleased with our comments. I turn to Sayori. Sorry, could you keep it down a bit for the... I feel the men's glare burn through my soul. Wonderful gentleman in front of us. Sayori flushes red and nods. I put my arm around her to soothe her out. Seemingly content, the men turn around. Despite the rough start to the film, what with the greasy, die-hard fans, the rest goes really smoothly, actually. Sayori laughs harder than I've ever heard her laugh before at some of the jokes. The greasy fellows in front of us gave off a more approving presence in regard to Sayori, as opposed to the more confrontational aura from earlier. It's almost as if they're silently saying, "We've converted her," amongst themselves. And I can't really blame them for being happy, either. Seeing Sayori genuinely enjoy herself, especially with everything, the rain clouds, the depression, it makes it all seem so foreign. It makes me... The kiss on the cheek I give Sayori felt instinctual. She falls silent almost instantly and turns a beet red.
Hallie?
Sorry. I couldn't help it.
That's fine. Thank you. But please, keep it down for the men in front.
You tell him, sister. Their entire group erupts in laughter as if they were a bunch of drunken knights singing some sort of song in a bar. Well, that also is what's happening in the movie now. Perhaps life imitates art after all. The movie finally ends, and when the credits roll, Sayori's in tears from the laughter. I can tell she really enjoyed herself tonight. As the credits roll, Sayori and I get up and leave the theater and head for the outside. Sayori is still giggling 10 minutes after the movie ended.
That movie was amazing! I really had a good time tonight. I can't tell you the last time I laughed that hard.
She takes a moment to collect herself.
Ooh-wee. This may be a last spot. Is it okay if we go back to my place?
I don't see a problem with that, so sure. But first, do you mind if I take a picture of you? I just want to capture this moment since you're so happy and everything. I cringe slightly, hoping she doesn't find my comment too awkward.
Oh, you're so sweet. Of course you can take my picture.
I pull out my phone and Sayori does a cute pose and gives me her biggest smile. I can tell this smile is genuine. I snap the picture and then put her hand in mine and walk out to the theater with her. Almost as soon as we get through her room door, Sayori and I plop into bed.
Hey, before we go to sleep, I want to thank you for the wonderful evening. I really had fun. I felt at ease watching that movie with you.
I wrap my arms around Sayori. I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything more.
I feel her start to clutch for my shirt. No, not tonight. Let's just cuddle. I can't help but feel like she didn't like my answer.
Okay.
That answer doesn't sit well with me, but I take it. Good night, Sayori.
Good night, Holly. I love you.
Alright, so... Well, hold on. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, just to see if this plays out any differently since we're in a different house and everything. I guess he went back to his own house. Alright, well that's okay. So she enjoyed the comedy movie the most. We still have to see what the romance one is like. I feel like the drama one was more impactful, and the horror one is like a definite no answer. But let's just see what the romance one results in. I take a moment to scan the posters. I see one for a romantic movie that came out just last week. My rep could be ruined if I actually pay money to go watch this, but at this point, being the only guy in an all-girls literature club, I think I'm pretty secure with my masculinity. Sayori, what do you think about romantic movies?
I've never seen one before, but I'd be willing to try it out if you want to.
Alright then, it's a deal. We get to the tickets and a tub of popcorn. I'm not too sure on this one. She might like it or she might not. Who knows? We are located at Theater 15. It didn't take us long to find our theater, and we're sat down in our allocated seats within 5 minutes, even with Sayori going to the bathroom beforehand. The theater is fairly crowded, but this is a pretty hyped up movie after all.
So, what's this movie about?
Well, I don't know the details, but I think it's about a poor woman who falls for a rich man, but social differences get in the way of their relationship.
Sounds depressing. I hope I get a happy ending.
There's only one way to find out. With that, the lights dim, the obligatory "ooh" rings out among the audience, and the movie begins. We're about 20 minutes in now, and the plot has begun to thicken. Sayori has clearly taken a liking to a particular character, by the way her eyes light up every time he comes into frame. I'm glad she's enjoying herself, although she's strangely silent for a girl I know to be bubbly beyond belief. I guess she's just that into it. Suddenly, a sex scene erupts from almost nowhere. I look over to Sayori next to me. She seems shocked, but gradually her expression returns to one of subtle appreciation. The scene lasts a surprisingly long time. A few minutes in, I feel a nudge on my arm. I turn my head to Sayori once more. She's looking straight at me with a sly grin and a deep red tint, visible even in the darkness of the theater. She flashes a small wink, then returns to watching the movie with a look of intent upon her face. Does she mean... Wow. I can feel my face heating up and my heartbeat racing, and I almost choke on my own saliva. She appears to notice my hands fumbling as I hear a quiet giggle from next to me. I had no idea she could be so forthcoming. We return to quietly watching the movie. Certain romance scenes occasionally pop up here and there, often accompanied by slight nudges from Sayori. Her entire mood changes, however, at the end of the movie, where the protagonists have their happy ending. I look over to see Sayori slightly sobbing. Sensing her emotion, I wrap an arm around her and place the other hand on her head, slowly petting her soft hair. Her sobbing quietens as I do so. After a few minutes, she looks up at me with glistening eyes and gives me a little nod, signifying that she feels a little better. I remove my hand from her head and release her from the embrace. We sit side by side, leaning on each other's shoulders as the last few minutes of the movie play out. The movie is over and the end credits roll. Sayori seems to have cleared herself up, and finishes the process by giving me a brief hug and a light squeeze. We walk out of the theater and look back into the foyer, where we each use the bathroom and then head out. So, what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. It's not so much what I'm into, but it was a nice break from the norm.
Huh, that was a genuine and well-structured answer. What did this movie do to her? Glad to hear it. Shall we be off? Sayori nods.
Oh, by the way, I wasn't nudging you for no reason, you know.
She flashes her now infamous sly grin. Once again, I feel the heat of entire universes being born upon my face. I'll let you know how I feel when we get home, okay?
Oh, okay. Let's go home then, I guess.
Sure. But first, do you mind if I take a picture of you? Just want to capture this moment since you seem like you're in a really good mood. I cringe slightly, hoping she doesn't find my comment too awkward.
Oh, Haley, that's so sweet. Where'd you get my picture?
Pull out my phone and Sayori does a cute pose and gives me her biggest smile. I can tell that this smile is genuine. I snap the picture, then put her in my hand in mine and walk out the theater with her. We stroll along the illuminated sidewalk, her arms interlinked and shoulder to shoulder. Sayori giggles every so often with a slight blush across her cheeks, while I remain silent with one arm around her. It doesn't take us long to reach my place, and we step inside into the warm air.
Hey, so about what we talked about her, have you come to any decision?
I'd be foolish to not pick up on her obvious hints.
We could try.
I decide to stop her there. Sorry, Sayori, but I honestly don't think I'm really up for that tonight.
But... oh, fine.
She looks a little down, but I'm sure some cuddles will help fix that. We both climb into bed after changing and otherwise getting ready. Good night, Sayori.
Night, Hallie.
Alright, so let's see. Which of these is probably best for the relationship? Definitely not the horror one. We kind of, reject her advances in both of these, which is peculiar. I feel like this one is the most emotionally impactful for her. I just don't know if it's what, the developer would consider to be the best outcome. But I don't know, it also kind of, helps her with her trauma in a way, so... I think I am going to go with this one and hope for the best. Still gonna leave this choice here if we have to go back to it because we've somehow messed it up, but... we'll see. I get out of bed, have a quick shower, and get dressed. That one line was all that changed. Sayori isn't down yet. I suppose she must have something or other. All these tiny lines did change. I head upstairs and into my room, where Sayori appears to be slowly waking up.
Oh, wait! Breakfast!
Sayori yawns. No end to the statement.
Oh, sorry. You started me a little. I'm sleepy.
I think you spent all your energy on waking up. While she's preparing, I'm heading back to the kitchen. Before long, Sayori comes down from upstairs, dressed and ready to eat.